The last of the four is self-reliance. And this is really what can be summed up as self-belief in a way. It's what a lot of inventors have. It's like what geniuses have. It's the belief that they know what's right and their ideas will work. It's based on intuition. We have that instinct. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. Now, Steve Jobs, he listened to others, but he made his own decision, and that's what you should do. When you're self-reliant, you should engage with other people, get their opinions, because they may have an idea that will make it work better. They may have an idea that may make you see the whole project from a different way. Steve Jobs surrounded himself with people that knew what they were doing, so he knew that he could trust their opinions, but he knew his intuition would be what would lead the project. He would lead the company with his intuition. So he would listen to people, but he would know his own mind. So you shouldn't expect other people to give you the solution, but they can give you the direction. It's important to be self-determined when you're self-reliant, because if you think about the iPod, when that came out, it was just another MP3 player. There were MP3 players at the time. It wasn't the first one to market. But what it did was it did things right because Steve Jobs wanted it for himself. So he would say what he wanted in an MP3 player. He would say what he wanted it to do and how he wanted it to work. But he knew that it wasn't the final product. That's why they keep bringing out new versions of it. They improve on the appearance, on the functionality, on the volume and things like that. So self-belief isn't about being final. It's about understanding that this works for now and it's your opinion that matters. You've got to believe in your ideas and you've got to believe in your concepts fully, because if you don't, you're just going to waste your time because it won't succeed. You need to find something you do. We've talked about motivation, and self-reliance and self-determination are key aspects of motivation, because if you can't believe in something, if you can't get behind something enough, you're not going to be motivated to really succeed on that. Now, self-reliance is a very good thing, but it's important not to go too far with it. You shouldn't become autocratic. Now, an autocrat is a person that is always right, even when they're wrong. They listen to no one but themselves. And this is when self-reliance becomes their only input. They become dictators, so to speak. And it's terrible for business to be run by an autocratic leader, because they stop listening to other people and they stop listening to potential successful ideas, and they become very blinkered. So do not become autocratic in your ideas and in your thinking, but know your own mind. Be aware that you've got the knowledge, you can visualize it, you can process it, you can work it out. Be reliant on yourself, because you're the only person that will see that project through to the end in your way, the way you want it done. So how can you use this? Now, think about what you're doing that you're passionate about. It can be business, it can be product, but it's got to be something that you're really passionate about, that you really believe in more than anything else. And what do you know about that that's best? What do you know better than everyone else in that area? Now, how could you improve that? Do you know how you can improve that yourself? Or do you need to ask other people's opinions to show you how you can improve that, and then you can decide? And from that, think about what would be the arguments against it. What would be the reasons to avoid doing it that way? Now, use your intuition, use your knowledge, use your years of experience to choose the right answers and to choose the right path, because self-reliance is the one thing that will make you as a person, as an individual, a success. So I'm going to end this section just with a quote from Steve Jobs. He says, "The people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do."